Cuts and Curves, Botica na Medic, te presenta.
IFBT G3 Tournament na Hermosa Beach, California, noting mesmo quantidade grande de participantes, maneira taote caso de evento internacional de beach tennis aqui na Aruba, ano passado, na novembro. Assim na mês, algum tenista round mundo a viajar para competir e, entre outros, nosso colega Yentl.
We're very proud to announce that recently you went to the States to represent Aruba in the beach tennis tournament. Tell us, how did this go?
For beach tennis players, in order for them to develop themselves better on a professional level, you have to travel around the world to earn international federation ranking points. So that's what I did this past weekend. I traveled to Los Angeles, to Hermosa Beach, California, to compete. But I have to say it was a fantastic tournament. It was very well organized, and the area that we did it in, there was a lot of activities to do. So it was a vacation as well as being an athlete and being active. But more importantly, I have to say that in terms of attendance and participation, Hermosa Beach in the United States, they're not there yet. Aruba most definitely has a lot more players. The sport is much popular on the small island than it is in that big country. But from the international participation in Hermosa Beach, you can tell that it's being more recognized because you had players from Puerto Rico, there were a few from Brazil, and then you had me from Aruba. So that was nice. What I want to point out, especially because Salud is a health show, I can't stress enough how important it is to find a workout that you love to do. If you can imagine how many of the players around the world choose to dedicate, days off, vacation time, save up money to go and travel to play a sport, that will definitely get you off the couch and moving. So I think that's very important. When you find something that you love to do, no matter if it's spinning, if it's CrossFit, if it's beach tennis, it's whatever, as long as you love to do it, you will do it, and then it won't even feel like a workout anymore. It will just be fun, and then while you're having fun, eventually you'll get into shape, which is fantastic.
Yentl te comenta conosco el haciendo un caluroso recepción.
Aruba's beach tennis event in November is massive. The magnitude of it is just unbelievable. There's more than 500 players, 800 attendants, and it just continues to grow. And we have so many Americans that come to support Aruba's event. So they were thrilled to see me and a few other players from Aruba attending, because they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you traveled all the way from Aruba for our little beach tennis event. But you can just tell that they were gratified, like they appreciated the effort, because they've been coming every year for the G4s, which is not as big as the G1s, where you don't earn as many points, but they still come down. So they were just so happy, so it was nice.
So what are your next plans? Are you planning on going to more of these tournaments? Or tell us a little more.
That's a good question. Beach Tennis Aruba just started its brand new league. That means I've committed myself for another 4 months to play at least twice or 3 times a week at the Tropicana Beach Tennis Club. And then in terms of traveling, that all depends if work permits, as well as where. If it's within the Caribbean region, for instance, St. Martin, Curacao, or Bonaire, that's much easier to go for the weekend. But for instance, to the United States or to South America, that's definitely a lot further, and you would need sponsorship. So as of right now, I don't have plans to go anywhere for an international tournament outside of Aruba. But actually starting tonight is my first game for the new league, meaning new leagues, they are 3 to 4 months. Once you sign up, you're committed for those months because you paid for them, there's someone waiting for you at the courts. So that's guaranteed another few months of workout weekly, which is important. So that's the big one coming up, and then I always participate in every single tournament that BTA organizes. So that's the plan so far.
A work competencia aqui trai lomba, nos apontra Yentl Kiko su status está en el ranking de beach tennis.
In terms of ranking, I believe I am within the top 200, which is considered pretty good, but not that good. And I have to say, in terms of Aruba's female level, because we actually have some pretty good men on the island, in terms of Aruba's female level in international beach tennis, we're nowhere near actual professionals. But you have to understand that the professionals within beach tennis, they are actual pros and they earn money doing this, and they don't have a full-time job like all of us. So they have the ability and the freedom and the sponsorship to accomplish many of these G4s, G3s, G2s, and G1s, which is where you earn the ranking points, therefore determining your level and ranking. So I'm within the top 20, I'm within the top 200, but like in like maybe the 200s, and then like maybe on the 190 side. But there's the ranking, to give you a more perspective, it goes up to 800. So.
Yentl sigura motiva otro ng pasigi-supaso.
When I see a familiar face at beach tennis, like when I saw Yayo, one of ATV's news editors, it was fantastic. It was so much fun. I was like, hey Yayo, how are you? What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna play. And then he tells me how it's his first game and then how excited he is. So I think that's really, really neat, that your own passion has one way directly or indirectly influence or persuade someone to maybe garner a better lifestyle. So I think that's always a positive. And I would love for us to organize a huge event and everybody plays, because I talk about it all the time. So people at ATV must be sick and tired of it. So I'm just thinking it would be good if we could organize our own little tournament and then have some fun. Because I see a lot of potentials. Because it's not just beach tennis. If you ever played badminton, if you ever played tennis, if you ever played volleyball, you already have some of the basics. Then you will move really, really fast. I've never played any of the sports, so it took me about 3 or 4 years to get to a certain level. But if you have any of those basic sporting backgrounds, you'd be fine. And then you have great potential in the sport.
Yes, natama na sa presenta otra edisyon di Salud 5. Mita espera que nos pueda donavo algum tips valioso para praticar higiene na bienestar de propio persona e assim como comida nang aún mais saudável. Até outra semana, que Deus quer.